SmashFactor.
Ripping driver, going for it. Oh my goodness. How about that tee shot?
That is crazy how far that is.
Wow. John Daly, take a back seat, big fella. How about that drive?
That's an aggressive line. Man, that is beyond long.
Look at this. He's just driven the green. He has just driven the green.
I guess hello world, huh?
Welcome everybody to week 9 of the 2020-21 PGA season, the Vivid Houston Open, new title sponsor, new course, probably fairly stronger field than normal given the time of the year. So most of the content will be gauged towards that tonight. We got a lot to talk about. First time playing at this course. We'll get into that a little bit later. They moved it to the public course downtown. Brooks was a major part of, I say major, he was a big part of, talking to design and talking through it. And, because it's a public course. So the people are trying to, one of their big moves in doing this and putting the money into it was to allow, have a primetime public course for Houston. So a lot of money went behind it. I've been around there. I was around there a lot, especially when I was living in San Antonio, and I've seen it. I saw it when it was basically almost done with the big renovation they did in 2019 to prep for hosting for the first time this year. So nice course, totally different, not totally different, but definitely different than the other course. We'll get through some of that, some of the articles I read and pulled key information out. Reviewing last week, man, I should have took my advice. So I did go lighter, which was good because it was horrendous for me. Just no sugarcoating it. But I hadn't fully recapped betting because I do have a play on the Monday night game tonight. But horrible golf betting, horrible DK. Just was not good at all. My bullet was probably one of the worst bullets I've made in a while. A little bit of hope there. Come Friday night, Ventura and Suh were on 17. Didn't know if they were going to finish or not. Needed both of them to get in through the cut. They finished 17, both parred it. I was hoping they'd both birdie it because I think it would have got Ventura to like -1 or even, something like that, where he was one clear. And then Suh would have been on the cut line. They both parred. So then now Suh had to birdie. And I think all Ventura had to do was actually par. And Ventura bogeys and Suh pars, and they both missed a cut. And that really, it took away all my 6 of 6s. I only did 20 lineups last week, but it took away all my 6 of 6s. At one of them two were in all the rest that I had left at a 5 of 6. So it was kind of a brutal Saturday morning when we wake up and watch them finish the last, well, not watch it because we didn't get to see much of this tournament live at all, but watch it on our phone. Kind of a brutal beat, and that kind of set the tone. And then Zalatoris kind of storms back on the back nine. It makes a cut. So it swung. Him being in and out was swinging the 6 of 6 big time. He got in, and then Suh was pretty high on too. I can't remember Ventura, but those two falling out balanced a little bit. It wound up being around 9 or 10%, I believe. But for me, just horrendous. I mean, bad. I mean, not to say I don't think many people out there were touting Wyndham Clark and Brian Gay, and you always go back Sunday night. And I was like, sometimes I just miss a play or miss somebody. There was nothing in the world I ever would have got me on those two. You could look at stats, recent form, anything. Wasn't going to be on them. Just one of those weeks. Crazy winds, crazy weather. Course that's only been played once on the tour type of deal, which some of that we're going to talk about tonight. Similar, so caution there. But I went light, which was good. For whatever reason, I'm on a little heater in the last 3-4 weeks. But not in golf. I can't get over the hump in golf. I've had some decent showdown at times. This week it was okay. I think I had one good day, but rest of them not really great. I mean, it's so hit or miss, especially when you do like that big one. Like Saturday, I was in first for a while, all the way to the end. I was in the top 10 most of the last hour, then, fall out, late, win most of my money back on showdown. Sunday, I was right up there, top 5, all the way up to the end. And then the last like 2 or 3 things that happened took me to 10th. So I got 10th in that, but I had a bunch. I put a bunch in that day. It didn't do very well in the 333 on Sunday, but no, actually I take that back. So when they tied, so Gay and Redmond were on 17, and I had a chance to jump inside the top 10. And 17, a lot of people have been birdieing that day. I say a lot, but relative. Redmond hits a second shot up green side, misses the bunker. So he's in the kind of rough right off the green, had a chip uphill, chips it, misses the short putt, and pars it instead of a birdie, which sucked. And then Gay winds up 3-putting it and bogeying 17 right after, and then hits that second shot on 18 that gets him the birdie that winds up putting him in the playoff and winning it. But that hole on 17, where the field had been trying to take advantage of that par 5, both of those guys, I literally finished one spot out of cashing the 333 on Sunday. So I guess showdown wasn't too bad. Where other sports have been great. Last week was awesome with World Series, and then Saturday had a great afternoon on college football. Bobby's been killing it with the content there. Talked about that on the Audible Sunday. So pretty good last few weeks for me, just not in golf. So I'm hoping the heater continues, and now it turns over to golf, starting with the Houston Open this week, and then that small little tournament we got next week, I hope goes well. Big announcement to start out with. We did a little test trial. Ryan suggested this. We talked about it before, probably almost last year. At certain times, we can never really, the way our system was, figure out the best way or when to do it or when to try it, when not. So we did a little test trial, letting Ryan, his NASCAR article was free, free to view yesterday. And so I just kind of spun that around, over the night. And then today when I was at the gym this morning, I had the idea, I had to get, with JB behind the scenes to make sure we could do it where it wouldn't be too difficult. So this week, starting, I'll post my rankings tonight, golf rankings after the pod. All content for all sports will be a free preview week. So when you get on, we'll spread the word. If you're a current sub, this is your chance to tell people to come check it out. The tools won't be free. Those will be still locked, but all the content pieces we do for the entire week will be free for anybody to come check out. If they like it, they can use a Masters code, 30% off any package. So basically they'll have access to everything that we put out as written articles, to be able to access our tools, our premium chat, or our Slack. They'll have to sign up. So that's the give and take, I guess. We want to open it up a little bit. People can come see what we got, written content, which they'll notice in the content. We do a lot of talking about, I'll mention this on the premium Slack, which is the Emergency 9 on Wednesday, the Audible on Sunday mornings for golf and football. I will talk about mentioning in Slack and how important that is, and being around, and those guys, if they want to go ahead and test us out, even if it's for the week or do a month, so they can test out the Masters next week after checking out some of our content we're bringing, that'll be awesome. So first time we've ever opened it up. We'd opened up during COVID, but obviously there was nothing going on. It was just more of a come check it out. But there's not a lot of interest when there was no sports going on. So now, kind of theme of the March to the Masters stuff, we're going to open up this week. So all sports, we'll have all my golf stuff, Kenny's golf stuff, Ryan's, cash articles, Bobby's football articles, MMA from Tommy, MLB and NBA obviously are done, so they won't be there. NASCAR from Ryan and Scott. So it'd be good fun. It'd be fun. So our articles that'll be posted this week will be accessible to the public. You won't be able to go back and look at any of the old articles because the way our coding is in there, they're locked based on our subscription type stuff. But anything that's posted basically from today through Sunday will be accessible to everybody. We'll probably lock it back up Sunday afternoon, Sunday evening. And then we still have one more week where you can use 30%, use the code Masters, gets 30% off, and you get into the drawing where I decided we're going to have 3 winners. First one is going to be the rare limited release Scotty Cameron. And then second and third, I'm finalizing. I'm waiting on a couple texts to kind of finish that. We'll announce that throughout the week, obviously, but there'll be 3 winners of the drawing. And that's anybody that signs up or upgrades if you're a current member and you want to upgrade to full access where you get the tools as well. So I hope you guys take advantage of that. Spread the word to your friends. If they've been on the fence and they want to come check out our site, at least the content side of it, they can do that this week for free. Also, huge move on getting inventory out as we are planning our new 2021 inventory. So use the code Augusta, get 40% off. Thank you, the guys that have been doing that. We've had several orders here in the last week. That's been awesome. Helps us out. Just get more capital, put it back in, get some more fresh inventory. We've got some cool ideas there and some stuff rolling out. So hopefully you guys take advantage of the 40% off while they last. Listener League is up. It'll be in the podcast as well. It's already been on Twitter and Slack. Last week's winner, Otis the Bull, 517 points. Had Zalatoris, so he survived. Him surviving the cut helped him out. Griot, Clark, Gim, Hostler, and Hickok. Very unique lineup. And obviously, if you won anything last year, you had to be a little off the main beaten path because there wasn't a lot of chalk up there. I think Zalatoris easily was the biggest guy who made the cut that made the big difference on the weekend because he climbed all the way up to, I don't remember what it was, top 20 for sure, maybe top 15 even. So that helped a lot of people. He was the highest owned by far. I even missed on him in my ownership. He was almost 35%, I believe, which was just crazy. So congrats to him. He's already accepted the invite to the League of Champions. So we will add one more this week. And then if you don't know, we also do one for the NFL. We add 3 a week for there, and we'll have the League of Champion tournament either week 15 or 16 for that. And we'll have some prizes and all that kind of stuff for you guys in there. Kind of a free roll for everybody that's won. Tournament preview. As always, I'll refer to Kenny Kim on his podcast. He'll have his article out. So if you've never got to see his article, come check it out later on today or tomorrow. And then he updates that Wednesday, so you'll get to kind of see all his. Especially this week's gonna be important. Just listen to the guys, understanding what they're seeing. I'm sure it'll be asked a lot. Hey, since it's your first time being here, because this course hasn't been played since 1963. So not a lot of guys are going to be very familiar with it. Locals probably will. Guys that live in the Houston area. Brooks, obviously, because he assisted on it. And even if they do, they just did this redo. So it hadn't been completed, about a year ago. Late last summer, I think, is when it got finished. So there's not a lot of time to play it. I would imagine Brooks has more than anybody, maybe. I don't know. That's anecdotal comment, but he was involved with the remake. So it's a par 72, 7,300 yards, 5 par 5s, 5 par 3s, Bermuda grass throughout. It's not dormant. It's not even close to dormant down there at this time of the year. There's no overseed, anything like that. Basically, the notes I took from reading 3 or 4 different kind of interview articles that were published after the opening last year, it's about half as many bunkers as there was before. They added 1 par 3 and 1 par 5. There was some rumors that people thought this isn't naturally a par 72, but they thought maybe the tour may play it at a par 70, par 71. All my confirmations say it is being played at a par 72 this week. So 5 par 5s, 5 par 3s. They removed 1 lake and 2 ponds. More movement around the greens, much more open than before. Trees have been moved or removed. Underbrush under the trees and clearing has been cleared out and cleaned up some. Much more of a second shot course with highly undulated greens. Kind of similar, like if you miss in the wrong place, you could be difficult to 2-putt at that, their hope, I would assume at some point, is to try to get back on that, play this right before Augusta. Now they're in the fall swing for now, but in next year, Valero's right before. But, with that, it comes to mind 3-putt avoidance, approach, proximity, opportunities gained inside 18 feet, who can hit it closer type of deal. That's what it says to me. Birdie maker, you got 5 par 5. So you definitely want to look at par 5 scoring, stuff like that. It does seem, I found a couple of the, where you go hole by hole. Length will help. It's not, I don't think the end all be all, but I will be, the theme will kind of be bombers, and then, who can putt well. And this, but you listen, many of the interviews I read about did say much more of a second shot course. So I don't think it doesn't mean a short knocker, quote unquote, can't win this. I think length will help at any time. And when you got 5 par 5s, potential for eagles, stuff like that, potential for birdie streaks. You start out with a 5-3-5, 1, 2, and 3. So, in theory, if they can birdie a par 3, pretty good chance to get a streak there. So a lot of scoring this week potentially is what I'm reading. Ball striking, approach, stuff like that's always going to matter, but definitely looking for scores. Weather, none. Sunny, light winds, slight chance of rain Sunday morning. That's about it. Not really nothing to do. I'm going to go, I think the cut's going to be high. I think it's going to be around -3, -4. There's, I think 125-ish guys right now. Let's see how many DraftKings had. 126 right now. I'm thinking 3 or 4, and I think it's going to get to that 19 to 21 under type number, maybe 22. Anytime you get 25 or 20 par 5s in a week, certainly gives some opportunities for scoring, especially with some of the guys that are here. I mean, we have a pretty decent field compared to last week. So that's kind of where I'm at this week. I'm looking at that, scoring type of deal. Winners, obviously, this is the old course, the one they used to play. Lanto won last year. But, still South Texas, that kind of environment, just to kind of, talk about them real quickly. Griffin, Poulter, Russell Henley, Jim Herman, JB Holmes, Matt Jones, DA Points, Mahan, Mickelson, Anthony Kim sighting, Paul Casey, Johnson Wagner, and Adam Scott were the kind of there. Some of the runner-ups, Harrington, Hubbard, Hostler. That was the year Tambo took down one of the contests. I don't remember what it was, but I know the Bo Hostler, Ian Poulter finishing first kind of threw him into a pretty good week. Stenson, Spieth, Wagner again, Kuchar, Horschel. So you can kind of get an idea of kind of guys that have done well here. Stats for me, I'm looking at par 5 scoring, good approach, strokes opportunity inside 18 feet, birdie or better, and ball striking. So in general, I think being off the tee helps. I don't think it's the end all be all. I want to take a little bit of that. I'm definitely going to bring, especially in the deep dive, some Bermuda putting stats into it, just to kind of, and when you have a expected low scoring like this, you can't predict putting right all the time, but I do want to see guys that I think can make a lot of birdies, and get up there. I don't think an average putter, they can get hot, right? So you tilt that line, but if I'm looking at a couple guys, I'll kind of, that could be a tiebreaker or whatever. I want to look at that stuff on weeks like this. Obviously, everybody's new to the course this week. The pricing ranges, we got 5 in the 10K, 7 in the 9K, 11 in the 8K, 34 in the 7K, 69 in the 6K. So a little bit spread out. We've seen as many as 90 in the 6K. Obviously, not as many guys here as a full field, but somewhat balanced, but still with 23 guys above 8,000 and above. So majority of the field are 7,900 and less. If you're new to the pod, appreciate it. Thank you. I do the Dirty Dozen, 3 picks in each tier, 4 tiers. And then I have last 4 out and some gut feel plays. Then we roll over to betting, 1 and done, and we get out of here. Again, another new course. We truly don't know exactly how it's going to play. Kind of going off of form, look at some stats, stuff like that. There's nothing to really just deep dive in. Today, I obviously will take into consideration a lot of things we hear from the players. They get to play the practice rounds today, tomorrow, stuff like that. That helps me gauge towards Wednesday. This is a week where Wednesday gets more important. Being in Houston and there, I think we'll get a little bit more accessibility and maybe some stuff from the players this week than Bermuda. Bigger names, a lot of more coverage, I guess I would say. Plus, this is the first I guess technically they allowed fans at Bermuda last week, limited, doing the same in Houston this week. I was going to try to get to go. It's not looking optimal for me to go right now. But I will make that decision here, probably this evening if I can try to go Thursday or Friday. Just so much going on with the Masters coming up and getting that kind of stuff lined up, getting ahead for next week. And then, plus just our normal coverage. So Dirty Dozen for me, 9K or above. It's hard for me not to go to DJ. I like DJ. He's obviously the highest priced. He's number 1 in stats, number 1 in recent form, 31 in course fit. I pulled in, 3 or 4 courses that I felt sounded like this one and how it would play. On my sheet, the rankings that you guys will see, it does have their finishes the last 4 years at the Houston Open, which was the other course. And I noted that just so you can kind of just tell, but the actual rankings and stuff is based off of the ones I did. DJ gets COVID, so I could see where it's really kind of how I went to him, because there's a couple more I like, but I could see where people just say DJ's more worried about next week. He probably is going to have to shake off the rust, because he had already kind of taken a break and was set to come back, got COVID, and now, missed 2 weeks, and then he wasn't going to go play the Bermuda. So he hadn't played competitive in a little while. So I could see the situation of passing on that. The part that would worry me is like when I'm labeling this course or looking at everything I've read, like that's a DJ course to me. Like, get off the tee pretty good. When he was on, which he's been on as much as anybody, that's what he was doing so well when he destroyed the field that week. I mean, he was hitting the greens in the right spots. And to me, I think they want to be peaking right now, right? So we're a week away. So I would think him to go out and win this week doesn't mean anything to him. He's going to win. If he wins it, he wins it. Let's go to Augusta. I don't think he's going to come out here and just try things. Me personally. Now, I may change that by listening to him or something come Wednesday, but I like DJ. I'm interested to see where the community goes. I think the industry DJ will be a fade this week, all things given. And my next guy I like is Brooks, and that's one of the reasons why. I think because, it'll get around that Brooks is very involved with this, yada, yada. Anyway, he's first back from this injury, he gets a 28th at the CJ Cup, hit or miss there, some good, some bad. I could see if he's popular, I could see me moving off of him. I don't know how many people will be, because I think they want to see him show a little bit more form. But, man, you get any kind of course where, A, he's familiar with it, B, a ton of par fives. I got to love DJ Brooks both there. I'm interested to see where their ownerships go, though. My last one in the 9K or above is going to be Scotty Scheffler. $9,600, 28th last year at the other Houston Open. Pretty decent form coming in. 17th at Zozo, 52 at CJ Cup. Missed the Shriners. He struggled for a while, but I think he's kind of getting his groove back a little bit. And I like him off the tee. Ball striking, he's 7th in the field. Approach, he's 4th for me. Good approach. He's top 21 in all 5 major categories for me. 9,600, Texas boy. There's nothing not to like about that. I was real close on like Hovland was another one I love, but I went with Scheffler there as my final top 3 in that range. Second range, 7,600 to 8,900. Probably go back to Redmond, 8,800. Obviously coming here in good form. A 4th last week, was leading going into Sunday. Was kind of my only hope for a save me this week, Redmond, because if he wins it, we had him on the outright and stuff. That at least would have helped break even on the week. A 13th here last week or last year at the other course. I know you probably don't want me to say that every time. Putts really well in Bermuda. It's his best surface. He's been putting pretty decent anywhere, and he rates out extremely well on stats, everything except for par 5. So I have notes there to go look at why that is, because I would think he does well on par 5s, but definitely a deep dive deal for me. 8,800, I just like where he's at in general. Playing really well. I had a chance to win it last week. Maybe people don't go back to him. I certainly will. Next, another guy that I'll go back to, missed the cut, Norlander. I'm not going to look too much into last week's results with that crazy weather. 45th last year's Open. 22nd in stats for me, 6th in the course fit category. Like Redmond, he's well everywhere except for the par 5. So I kind of want to look at some of that stuff. 6th in good approach, 6th in opportunity gain, 30 in birdie or better, 18th in ball striking. 7,100 is what I really like. So definitely a good. I skipped over. Sorry about that. My next one was I went to the next tier. My next one's Cam Davis. Sorry about that. We'll get to Northlander in a second. Cam Davis, 8,100. Love Cam Davis. Been on him a lot. Missed a cut at last year's Open. 52nd at the Shriners. He hadn't played since the Shriners. A little bit of a worry, but we know he can bomb it. Big Aussie, he'll throw it out there. 4th in birdie or better. 5th in par 5. 18th in approach. 22nd in opportunity gain. So I like Cam Davis a lot this week. He'll be in my core. Like everything about it. He's a guy that we saw. What was that day? The tournament. He started like +4 and wind up finishing top 5 in the tournament. This was recently, I say recently, 6-7 weeks ago. He can get on a birdie run like no other. So that type of place like this, I definitely like that. My last play in this range is James Hahn. This one kind of surprised me, and I had to I was like, man, I didn't think that name, but he's had success at the show open in the past. 49th, 32nd, 23rd coming in. One missed cut 4 years ago. A fifth at Shriners. So I kind of like the little bit of form showing there. Par 5 scoring, he's 11th in the field. Opportunities 11th. Birdie or better 10th. Ball striking 13th. $8,000. Another good building block piece. I don't anticipate him being talked about a lot, but we'll see. So I like James Hahn. Now to the next zone, 7,500 or less. Starting it off with Bermuda Burns. I expect him to be chalky, but I wasn't going to leave him off just because I do like him. We'll see where ownership takes us come Wednesday. 34th at the Shriners. We know that his favorite putting surface is Bermuda. Stat-wise, 10th in ball striking, 11th in birdie or better, 24th in par 5. Overall, he's 16th in my entire model. 7,500 seems like a really good price, which is why I think he'll be a little chalky coming in. 16th in recent form as well. So all things alike there. Now Norlander, $7,100. So everything I said about him earlier and what I was getting to was I just like his price. Maybe some people got burned by him last week and they move off of him, but I like him in general. He as well putts better on Bermuda than most. So maybe that makes him feel comfortable. 45th at the Shell last year, 7,100. Need a made cut, and then give us a chance on the weekend with him. Ventura, obviously the guy that cost me last week, but I don't mind it. I'll go back to him. $7,300. A miscut at Shriners, a miscut last week. He went. I get it. I can't remember, but Su and Ventura, one went 4 over, one went 6 over on the back 9 to miss the cut, basically by 1. So really played well. And then just that last 9 holes into the wind, lost it. 6th of my stats, 12th of my recent form. I'll go back to him. I think he'd probably burn other people as well. And so maybe that keeps the ownership down. That's fine. Oklahoma State boy, probably used to play in this area. So, but he's 6th in my entire model. So I like him a lot this week. 2nd in par 5 scoring, 3rd in birdie or better. So that's the kind of guy, I'm going to take pieces of at $7,300. My flop, I faded him one time and now I'm calling him my flop is Matsu. I just don't, we know he's going to somehow, shoot whatever Sunday and finish in the top 30, but I just don't like, maybe this little break, he only had last week off though, really. I just don't, the one thing we've always been able to rely upon him is the approach and stuff. And like stat wise for me, he's 41st right now, $10,000 for him. I don't want to rely upon him putting anywhere, let alone here. And so to pay that much, I don't think so. He'll probably be low owned. And so that's why I didn't call my fade, because I think I could still use him if he's going to be 5 or 6%. I may have a piece if I'm doing a big MME, but nothing crazy by any means. I just don't like him this week at all. My fade this week is going to be Day. I'm kind of on that train for a while. His last 3 tournaments, a miscut, and a 60th at Zozo. Remember, that was a limited field. Stats, he's 56th. Recent form, 59th. Course fit, 73rd. Still getting the price, though, $9,000. There's no way I can pay that for Jason Day right now. So he's a fade for me at $9,000. Sleeper is another one that James Hahn was one. Now it's John Huh. $6,300. Done well to Shell, miscut 39th, 32nd, 55th, a 19th at Shriner. So a little bit of flash there. But at 6,300, man, he makes a cut, and that's all you need. He's not going to show up great. He's 6th at birdie or better, which I like, but he was 79th at par 5, so not too excited. But 25th at good approach and 13th at opportunity gains inside 18 feet. Man, for that price, he actually comes in 7th overall. My value this week. That's worth definitely taking a chance on as a sleeper. Don't know quite if he gets to a 1 to 3 max type build, but he certainly is going to be, if I'm building 20 lines or more, definitely going to be in there. And he will be on my list to look at for, 1 to 3 max type build. So I like John Huh this week. Last 4 out, Siwoo right there. He's really high in my ratings. I just like so many right there in that 8K range this week that it was tough to narrow him down. 66-1, been playing great. He's 8th in recent form for me, an 8th at Shriners, a 17 at CJ Cup. Hasn't played Houston in a while. Had a 13th in 2016 and a miscut in 2017. He was last out because his putting on Bermuda wasn't the greatest, at least on the short sample I pulled. But his stats, he's second overall. Obviously, that's just pure the stats I mentioned earlier that I'm looking at. Par 5, he's 58, but then the other 4 categories, he's first, second, first, ninth. So coming in playing really well. $8,300, something I like. I like his 66-1 odds as well. So Siwoo's he was my last 4 out. He's gonna be right there in consideration for me. Hovland, another guy I don't know if people will go to. He's kind of been up and down in the market. 12th at the CJ Cup, 47th at the Zozo. We know he can strike the ball well. He can score on par 5s. He putts. He's right there around Siwoo level putting on Bermuda. But he doesn't putt just tremendous anyways. If he did, he'd be tremendous. But $9,800. He's one that'll be right there. I just like Scheffler a little bit more than him in general, plus kind of a home field type of deal. So I went Scheffler over him, but Hovland was right there, a last man out type of deal. Luke List is next. Like him a lot. This really, obviously we know his putting is a key. Can he putt? He finished 53rd last week. His Houston Shell Open results are good. 27th, 3rd, 24th, 28th. So it made me kind of think, man, similar situation. Maybe he just likes something about being down here, warm weather, whatever. So he's right on the verge. I want to know, I'm just trying to decide, do I want to trust Luke List to be able to put up, a 20 plus under type number at 7,000 though. Obviously, to return the value, he only needs if he gets top 30, he's doing that. But I want that upside there on the weekend, and he's got to be able to make putts to get there for me. 10, 11, 12 under, stuff like that is probably not going to get it done this week. And then my last one, who I really like, just couldn't fit him in up top, is Sungjae, 9,300. More at looking at how he's coming into it. We know he went through a stretch there of just bad golf. He did get a 13th at the Shriners. He loves Bermuda greens. He struggled with some putting recently. Ball striking we know is going to be there. 4th in par 5. Birdie or better recently hasn't been great. Long-term better. His long-term numbers look better than short-term. So maybe he's a guy that doesn't get talked up enough. He was certain that's why he's last 4 out for me. But 9,300 like Sungjae this week. My gut feel plays, these are guys that may not rank real high or could rank decent. Up or down, but just, enough for me to see it there to put them there, just to mention them. Since solo pod, now I'll give you a few more names. Always going to be 4 of them. Then we move on. But Grayson Murray, don't know why he always seems to pop every once in a while. He's done well at the Shell before. He's 9th in my stat model. He's number 1 in par 5 scoring, number 5 in birdie or better. So I certainly like that. He's $6,200 for a reason though. There's risks there. He's a guy that I would think for GPPs for sure. Will Gordon was on him last week. He was one of my bright spots, made the cut, finished 34th. He's got that get up and go in him. He can do it. 19th in par 5, 9th in birdie or better, 6,400. Another guy I wouldn't mind throwing in a GPP pool. Gooch, played at Oklahoma State, plays a lot in this area, or he's played a lot in this area in general. Let me find him. $7,700. He just average on everything. He did finish 4th last year at the Houston Open, a 5th at CJ Cup, 35th at Zozo. So I felt like maybe the form's coming around. He's decent at putting, probably top 25% at the Bermuda putting here. So a guy to keep an eye on. He can certainly go low and can get on a hot streak. We've seen him at top leaderboards here recently. So Gooch is a one that was kind of there. My last kind of gut right on the fringe of all this was Adam Schenk, another guy that I did get right last week. He's higher up in my ranking. There he is. So he's 22nd in my rankings overall, $7,100, 16th in stats. He played the Shell once in 2018 and he got a 60th. Shriners, he finished 27th, and last week he finished 26th. So he's a guy I rode, even in showdown some. Played well last week. Gonna probably feel relieved to come over here where there's barely any wind blowing. 75 degrees, going to be beautiful in Houston. So he's the last one I kind of have my eye on as we go through Monday evening. As always, deep dive and all that information. If you're listening to this and you're not a member, now you can go check all that article information out through Wednesday. You won't be able to join us for E9, but if you love it enough in the first couple of days and you want to join, go ahead and come join us Wednesday night for E9. Betting strategy, brought to you by Monkey Knife Fight. Go to gupscorner.com/affiliate. Click on the link. Use the code GUP. You get 100% of your match up to the first $50. Have a meeting with them hopefully in the next day or two. I know I've been saying that, but obviously the last couple of weeks got, crazy stuff happened with me personally and with the family and stuff. So I kind of had to postpone some stuff, but didn't talk to them today. So hoping to get something big with them going for the Masters. More on that to come throughout the week. For me, Cam Davis, 66-1. I kind of just list my 10 right off the page that jumped out at me. Obviously, if you want to go low on the board, DJ, stuff like that, those guys are going to be there. I can't get that low this week. Going to be a little lighter or try to be unique in the way I build some stuff because, some of those big boys that are up there, it definitely can go run away with this thing. So you don't want to get too overexposed. But, Cam Davis is a guy I like, 66-1. Ventura, 100-1. I think you can go like a top 20 even. He's 300-1. Hahn, who I mentioned, 80-1. Redmond, 50-1. I really like that number. I think last week he was 25. 28-1. Shank, 100-1. Killer Keith Mitchell back on Bermuda. He's in that player pool range. He's right there in that gut feel range. I'm sure he'll probably be talked up and chalky. 250-1. He's my free bet of the week. I've already bet that. I think I may take the approach of betting it and not playing the DK side of it if he's going to be chalky at $6,200. Can certainly do well here though. And then Will Gordon as well is 250-1. Any of these guys are 100 or over. We'll look at, each way's top 10s, top 20 type bets once we get to Wednesday when I get the final card out. Put my first round of outrights out either tonight or tomorrow, and then finalize the card on Wednesdays. One and done. We are down to the final two tournaments. So at this point, you pretty much know where you're going to go. Hopefully you have your pull down to 3 or 4 or 5 of these guys still left, and you're basically picking who you're going to pick this week and who you're going to pick to win the Masters. You got to go with your best bullets there if you're still alive for anything. DJ, Brooks, Scheffler, Hovland, M. If you're not and you're trying to get a little, I don't think you have to get too cute this week because there'll be enough of those guys going up high. I think you could go like a Siwoo, Redmond, maybe not be used a lot. I think M will, Garcia, maybe he busts early, even though he just won. That's about it. A Will Gordon or Mitchell, I think they'll be used more. If you're going for the skin this week, you really got to find that hidden gem out there. Danny Lee, he's 41st in my rankings. He's a guy that, I don't know if I see him winning, but if you're trying to get a solo, you really kind of go outside the box. Interesting week this week. There's guys that I didn't even get to or mention, but I don't want to inundate you guys with a whole bunch of names. Terrell Hatton's been red hot fire coming into this thing. He's second in my rankings. He just didn't fit in anywhere for me right now. And I think he's going to garnish a lot of ownership. So that's a wait and see for me. Finau, I don't think I'll play him at the 10-9 price. So I'm interested to see where people go. I'm shocked that he's 10-9 and Hatton's 10-3 type of deal. Spieth, where do we go with him? I wait and see with him because I'm always trying to see, is this the week that everybody tries to jump on and he becomes chalky Spieth? I don't want to play chalky Spieth yet. 8,400 though, may keep people off of him. So, that'll be something that as we deep dive and get into Wednesday, he's a guy that's right there on the list. Fratelli right there on the list. Hoffman was, but he destroyed me last week. I don't remember what he wound up shooting, like 19 over or something like that. But, those kind of guys are guys that we factor in the ownership, factor in, deep dive information, re-up the rankings come Wednesday and stuff like that. And you guys will be able to see those rankings now this week if you want to come check out the site. Excited for everybody to see what the team is bringing week in and week out, day in and day out. Again, if you want to be a part of the tools, the Slack, the E9s, the Audibles, you will have to make a purchase. You can purchase it anytime this week and you'll have access immediately. 30% off using the code MASTERS. But if you just want to read all the articles and content this week, you'll have full access to it through Sunday. So looking forward to having some fresh eyes on the site and getting feedback and stuff like that. Hopefully we do a good job for you guys. As always, we'll do E9 Wednesday. 4:30 Eastern, so 3:30 my time is what we've been aiming for as of late. That seems to be pretty good. And sometimes we even go a little earlier if we kind of get things going. I I will start slowly putting out kind of what my plans are and schedule is for Masters Week. It'll be action packed. We'll have wall to wall coverage. Still got to cover football and all that stuff. None of that's going to go by, but just be some long days for us, for me especially. But looking forward to it. It's exciting. It's kind of weird because you normally when it's Masters Week, like that's pretty much all that's going on for us and me in the community. You know, now we got full-fledged college football finally, Pac-12, and I think some of the the MAC, and I don't know, Midwest. I don't know who else. Someone else, Mountain West maybe is the other one that joined because we have like a 6-game slate Wednesday. So, I mean, college football, full-fledged, NFL, I'm interested to see the feel of the industry and the community as the Masters here. Like the casual person is going to watch the Masters, but generally we that's all we do is eat, drink, and sleep the Masters 24/7. But people are still going to be focusing on these other big sports, and we all love football and stuff like that. MMA, NASCAR. I mean, just got so much big things going on that it'd be interesting. Normally, there's not much going on at all. People honestly, other people want to avoid going up against the Masters, and in April, there's not much to even compete against. And most time, March Madness had just ended, so. I'm interested to see the feel and everything. I'm excited for it. I think it's going to be a tremendous tournament. Started deep diving over the weekend, have a lot of stuff that I'm prepping for it. Looking forward to it. Hopefully pricing comes out soon. I saw FanDuel put pricing out earlier. So maybe DK will be out in the next day or two. That'd be nice just to take a look. I won't deep dive too far because I wanted to do the research through last night and then kind of take a break. And we got to focus on Houston Open. There's some nice pots out there for Houston Open. There's probably going to be some qualifiers for that 4,500. Things like that we'll be looking forward to next week. Appreciate all you guys. I will be live Wednesday, 4:30 Eastern time for E9. If you have any questions as a newcomer and check out things, you can DM me on Twitter at any time. Or at Gups Corner, and we'll take care of you. You guys have a blessed night and a great week. Thank you. Good night.
SmashFactor.